Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We'll get started in a few minutes. A lot of people are just signing in, so we're happy to see everybody. Some familiar names I see here as well. So hopefully everyone's having an awesome hump day. And we'll get started in a few minutes. I see Jorge Gonzalez here logged in 3 times. Which is fine. You wish you had 3 of yourself, I'm sure. I'll share my screen in just a couple of minutes. I'll give everyone some time to log in. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. We'll give everyone a few minutes to get situated, and we'll start at the top of the hour. And yes, our session is being recorded as always, and usually the recording is ready anywhere from 5 to 7 days. We usually email it out to our attendees, but it's also available at InsuredMine.com/webinar. You'll find our past sessions there as well. We don't have any fabulous music to play, so we'll just have a little bit of silence and a little bit of me until we get started. When we do get started today, we'll use the chat session. So if there's any questions in there, as Raphael had mentioned, that it's being recorded, and I responded verbally. So yes, that is being recorded. And I think I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. And thanks everybody for joining us. We've got a nice crowd today, and so we thank you for joining our webinar. Today we're going to be talking about forms, gathering information, turning those forms into quotes, and how we can use those forms for other resources as well. So today, and we have Shilpa. She's from our support and our Sherpa leaders. So welcome, Shilpa. How are you today?
Hi, Paula. I'm good.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. And I'm Paula. I'm from the customer success team. I've been on previous webinars before, so we thank you for joining. And a little bit of housekeeping, as I talked about before. So obviously we want to welcome everybody. We're going to be talking about forms, gathering information, and how to use those forms. I'll go through a couple of slides here, and then I'll turn it over to Shilpa, who will actually go through the demonstration piece of it. We'll stop and pause along the way for questions, and then we'll come back at the end to wrap up if anybody else has any questions. So today we're talking about creating customized digital forms for collecting information, automating workflow processes, and simplifying the quoting process. Forms can be connected with pipelines, contacts, workflows, tasks. They can also be embedded into your website, where you could put a button on your website to have the customer say, click here to get a quote. So there's many ways that we can use a form, and Shilpa will demonstrate that to us as well. So collecting customer information digitally, because that's the great purpose of a form. Automate that lead generation workflow, trigger a pipeline creation automation, simplifying the quote request process, obviously improving customer engagement and capturing those website leads more efficiently. I have just a couple of screenshots just to show as we go along. So we're going to talk about forms in the forms module, and then the functionality of those forms. So we have a wizard form, and then we have a form builder, where we can also set form automation. You can do form submission through workflow, lead capture, form distribution, And then, as I talked about, embedding those on your website. And then these are just a couple of screenshots from our form builder module on the left-hand side. So I always say, as we keep in mind as we work through any of our webinars, and Shilpa will mention that as well, we have admin access versus an agent access. And so sometimes the admin obviously has the magic wand or more power or capabilities and functionalities in the system. So if you are logged in as an agent, you may or may not see some of the functionalities, and that is typically why. So having stated that, I think I'll go ahead and stop sharing. And then Shilpa, I'll have you go ahead and share your screen and take us through. And again, yes, we are recording this. And if anybody has any questions along the way, please feel free to use the chat. I will monitor that, and then we will pause along the way.
Thank you, Paula. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Before we jump into the demonstration, I would like to ask a question. How many of you are currently using forms simply as a way to collect information for prospect or a client? Can I just have a yes in the chat?
All right, Greg. Greg's a super user. Hey, Greg, how are you? He's also a fellow Floridian. So Deborah Stansel, welcome. Yep, Raphael. So a lot of people are. Hey, got a lot of
Great.
yeses, Shilpa.
Great. Today we are going to show you how a form can do much more than collecting informations. By the end of this session, you will see how a simple form can automatically create contacts, update a contact, generate pipeline cards, assign agents, create tasks, send notifications, and ultimately help our team code faster and more efficiently. So let's get started. Let me share my screen. Once my screen is up, do let me know.
Not yet.
Yeah, just let me share.
Sometimes it takes a minute to come up. Awesome.
Yeah. Is my screen is visible to all?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the form builder page. If you want to navigate, you can see in the navigation side, this is the form. You can click here and this is the landing page for the forms. In the form, we have admin and agent access. If you are an admin, you can view my forms as well as agent forms. And once you switch to agent forms, you can see only the forms which is created by the agent or shared with the agent. Let me again go to the admin. We have form list and templates. If you go to the templates, we have pre-built forms. Whatever forms you want to have, you can just click into the form and the form will open. If you want to add anything in this form, any field, you can just add it. You can click on the preview, form preview, and you can preview the form in the desktop view as well as in the mobile view. And then you can save it. So once you will save the form will be available under the form list here. So we have a helping module over here, which is a floating module. If you need any help while working in the form, you can just click in the help module and you can check any of the items over here and it will redirect you to the knowledge base doc. So here we have option to mark a form as a favorite form. If you click into the star, the form will become a favorite. And if you want to filter all your favorite forms, you can click into this icon and you will get filtered out all your favorite forms. So to create a new form, we can click into this create new form option. And here we have two create options. One is form builder and one is wizard form. In the form builder, it's a simple kind of form where you can have multiple fields in a single page. And in the form builder, you can have forms in a segment wise. You can add pages, whatever pages you want, you can add, and you can drag and drop the fields with your field name. This is how you can create a page-wise form. If you want to review the form, you can see it in page 1, page 2, and page 3. You have one field name. And in the mobile view also, you can see it like this. Let me create a form under the form builder. So in the form builder, you can have a layout. Under the layout, you can have a content field to add a agency logo.
And the agent may have this on their desktop, or they may have it, in a file.
Yeah, I'm just searching it. Give me a second. So here we can add a logo by inserting an image. And after you add a logo, you can save it. Again, you can take content to give the name of your form. These are the changes you can make and then save it. After you give the title of the form and the logo, you can add the fields. So let's suppose you want to add a column. Under the column, you want to add a field in the first column and you want to name it as full name. Then you want to add an email field. In the email field, you want to mark it as required. So go to the validation tab and mark the required field and save it. Then again, you can have one more column. And then we can have a phone number field, an address field. For the address field, you need to have a provider. For now, I'm using the Google Map and I'm using the API. Let me take a text field here. Then you can have a container. Go to the data field and you can just drag and drop the container. And save it. Once you add the container, you can add a data grid and you can name it as vehicle information. In this container, you can add all the columns. And this column we can drag and drop inside the data grid. And then we can add the fields.
We'll pause in a few minutes for some questions as well, Shilpa.
Yeah, sure. So once you have created it, you can simply go to the preview to check the form layout under the desktop and the mobile. And then if you want to save it, you can simply name it as a simple. And save it. So this is how we can create a simple form. So Paula, can we have the questions? If we have any questions, can you just check?
Yes, please. Can you go back and open up that form? Because some of the questions we have is when you save the form, does it only save the template if they are in as an agent? So it's whoever's creating the form, it'll save under their credentials, correct?
Correct.
Right. And then you also have the ability to share forms, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then
Yeah.
one of the other questions we had is around language. So Shilpa, do our forms support any other language like maybe Vietnamese or Spanish?
Yeah, we can create the form in a different languages, but we have to like use the uh, proper text over there. We can't use like English and then we can't translate it, but we can like use the languages over there, like as it is.
So that means so one of the questions is from Raphael. So he's talking about creating a form in Vietnamese. So if he has the Vietnamese text or instead of full name, but how it is in Vietnamese, he could write it in there or paste it in there, and then it will be out in Vietnamese.
Yep.
Okay. So I think that maybe Raphael, you might want to try that, just a very simple one, and to see how it works for you in visual. One of the other questions we have is about containers. So can you go into the view section, Shilpa, on the right-hand side, the little preview section? Because I think this is a good place to explain containers.
Yeah. So once you will add the container, and then inside the container, if you add the columns, the container will not be visible, only the columns will be visible. And if it is inside the data grid, you have the option to add more informations of same time. So all the 4 questions will come for multiple times if you want.
So a container is kind of like just that. It is. It's a container and you put things in the container, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's see if we have another question. So Stan is asking a question about, we have some forms that are in templates that yes, you can use, and we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
And so there are some forms that we have templates for. Instead of creating a form, you can make a copy, right? And then edit along the way.
Yes.
All right, I think that's it for questions, so I'll let you keep rolling.
Thank you, Paula. So once I updated the form, then we have the section over here as more option. So you can go to this, click on this more option, and we have copy, share, and archive. So if you want to copy the same form and make some changes into it, you can have it. Like if you want to create a new form, but the basic questions are same, so you can simply copy it. You don't have to create another form with the same basic questions. You can carry on with your other fields. So once you click on copy, it will show you as a simple form with a copy name into it. And then if you want to share the same form with other agents with a read and write access, so the agent will have the access of edit. He can make changes into the form. If you'll give only the read access, he can only use the form for his client, like to get the client informations, but he can't edit the form. So once you will click into it, you can simply share it with the agent. And once the agent gets the form, you can see the agent's name will display over here. So like this. And then if you want to archive any form, like let's suppose I want to archive this simple form copy, and I just click on archive and it will get archived. But if you want it back, we can definitely do it through the backend.
So be careful before you archive.
Yeah. So then let me dig into the form automation thing. If you, this is one of the form I have created earlier, the new business insurance quote request form. So if you go to the form automation, we have different sets of automation settings. So one is create pipeline card. So from the forms, you can create a deal card as well as a contact and account. So the setup will be you have to enable the pipeline settings, and then you have to select the pipeline and the stage, make it in the shared board. After that, you have to add all the details you want to map with the deal card as well as with the contacts from the form fields. So once the mapping is completed, you just scroll down and you have to enable this. Do not create duplicate. Once you will enable this, if any email or phone number is same or existing in our portal, it will not create any duplicate contact. Rather, it will get updated to the existing contact. And after the setup, you'll have to save it and it will show the form setting is updated. After you do the setup, you go to the after form submission. Under the email notification, you will select one of the agent whom you want the form response to get notified. You will select the agent. Under the success message, you can customize the after form submission success message. Then for the set email response, you can select a template so that the contact receive an acknowledgement after the form is submitted. Then you can have a redirect URL here. You can paste your website URL so that any flying contact is submitting the form, they can go to your website and visit your website. Then we have set response to contact. So if you enable this, whatever response the contact is filling up, he or she will also get the response notifications. And then we have a reverse data mapping. If you enable this, you will get contact and account option. You can reverse map the data based on the contact as well as the account. So for the contact, just select the full name, the email address, and the phone number. The basic things you need to just map it and then save it. So after you save, you will get, after every save, you will get a form setting updated. So once the setting is updated, you can simply copy the URL and you can go to your contact page and you can share it with any of the agents. I mean, any of the contacts. And if you want to quick share it, you can go to the quick action and just send an email. paste the form along with your email body. You can add anything in the email body and you can send it. So once the response will be submitted, you will get a deal card created as well as a contact and an account. So here you can see the email has been sent successfully. Once the response is submitted, you can see that the deal card will be created under the selected pipeline. So again, we have any question, Paula, related to
Yeah,
this?
I have a couple of questions. So before we kind of go into the pipeline and all the rest of the form automations, we wanted to go back and when you created the form,
Yeah.
and is there the ability to add a multiple section if you had more than one vehicle? So can you just kind of talk a little bit about, I guess that's conditional formatting, right?
Yeah, we can. If we have multiple vehicles, we will be adding a data grid. That's what I have added, this data grid as a vehicle information. And under this grid, I just added the columns inside.
And what happens
So
if you
if
have
you,
more than one vehicle?
yeah, so if you go to the preview, I can show you. Like if you have more than one vehicle, you just click on this, add another, and you will have the option to add other vehicle informations. Again, if you have more than two, you can just simply click on add another and you have multiple options to add number of vehicles informations.
Perfect, because a customer may have more than one vehicle on personal lines, and on commercial lines, they may have a fleet of vehicles, right? So they may have 5 or 7 vehicles. All right,
Yeah.
awesome. And then
So
the other question
so
we have,
this
oh, go ahead.
this section has an unlimited numbers, so you can add unlimited vehicles if you have.
As long as they can pay the insurance on them, we're good. All right. The next question we have is, we already talked about how to share the form, but you're going to talk about other ways to share the form as well as we go through
Yeah,
the
sure,
presentation. All right,
sure.
that's it for right now. Go ahead.
Thank you, Paula. So here we have one contact us form. So if you want to share the contact us form in your website so that any flying contact can fill up and the lead will generate into the InsuredMine, you can simply go to this form automation. You need to have this create contact enable with all the form mapping. So for your name, map your name, then date of birth, contact number, email address, and whatever fields you want to map, you can map and then save it. So for this, it will only create a unique contact. If any contact is having the same email and phone number, it will get updated to that existing contact. And after that, you can go to this website widget and simply copy this code and you can just ask your web developer, the agency's web developer, to add the code into their website. This is how you can add it. I'm just showing you. And once you run it, it will show in your website as contact us form button. So once you will click into it, it will let you open the form and you can submit the form response. Let's suppose I'm submitting.
Yeah, so this is a button that you can put on your agency website that says contact us. You can
Yeah.
have multiple types of forms, like you could get a quote, contact us. There's multiple ways to use that. And of course, you'll want to make some of the fields mandatory, right, Shilpa? Because that's the whole purpose,
Yeah.
is that,
Yeah,
common
so
email.
so here you can see the your name and how can we help, email address and the phone numbers are mandatory. If you don't fill any required fields, you won't be able to submit the form. You can add any other questions or comments or requests if you want, and then submit. So once you will submit, you'll get a thank you for your response, the success message, and if you add any redirect URL, it will redirect you to the portal. And once you go back to the contact page, you can see a contact has been created. So this is the contact created with the email. So any question, Paula,
No questions
related
so
to how
far.
we can
No,
create a contact from the
no,
website?
no questions so far. If you want to go back and just look at the other forms that are listed, just so people are familiar with
Yeah,
some of the
sure.
other forms.
So we have a contact update form 2. Let's suppose your contact has given some informations and the other informations are missing. You can simply share this information with your contact. Let's suppose I'll go to the form automation. You need to enable this contact update form enable, and then you'll get a form tag over here. Once you will save it, you need to copy the form tag, go to the contact page, and share it with your contact so that the contact can update the information. So this is how it will show you.
So talk a little bit about that contact tag or that contact update tag, right, Shilpa? Because some agents may create some kind of a template, right? And within that template, they could also use that contact update tag,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah,
And when
yeah.
we talk about pipeline and pipeline automation, she'll show you a little bit about how that works. Because really the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. So if you go to the template and you can add those contact update tag and hyperlink with your whatever message you want to give, you can add it, and then once they click into it, it will redirect them to the contact update form. And once the response is submitted, the existing contact details will get updated with the updated information. Do you want me to show it, Paula?
I think we're good to go to your next step.
Okay. So now we can show you how, if a renewal is there, how you can import a form into your pipeline. So let's go to the pipeline under the renewal. So here we have many renewals. And if you go to the automation under the actions, under automations, we have email immediately, and we have one intake form. So let's go back to the pipeline. In the admin, if you have an admin access, only then you can set up the automation. If you are an agent, you can only check what automations are there. So if you click in the deal card and you go into the deal detail page. So this is the card created through the renewal automation. Once you go inside the timeline, you can see the card got created through the renewal automation, and then the automation triggered. These are the two stages. The automation triggered, you can check the status, it's done, and the email has been sent and the form has been imported. Once you go to the communication tab, you can check this is the email went. This is how it will show the template for the intake form, and this is the email sent to the contact for his renewal. Once you go in the left hand side, once you scroll down, you can see the quotes, what's the quote it has, and under the intake form, you can see the renewal questionnaire form. So if you click on the preview, you can see these are the form. This is the form layout. Once the information is filled and submitted, you will get all the information inside the form. And if you go little more scroll down, you can see all the existing policy informations here.
Can you click on the three dots again and go into the automation, Shilpa?
Yeah,
And
sure.
so that they can see like how it's set up, right? So this would be something like your admin would set up. So when that deal card comes into that first stage, an email goes out immediately, and
Yes.
then explain that flow.
Yeah. So once you go to the automation, and if you are an admin, you have the option to create new stages. So click on the add new automation stage, and here are the multiple options you can create. You can notify the assigned agent that a deal card has been created, or you can assign a task to the agent for the renewal. So let me create a task for the agent. You can give a description what the agent is going to discuss on the call. You can trigger it immediately, or you can trigger it after 1 day or 2 day, or set in any time. You can have filters, you can have source filter, category filter, carrier filter, label filter, and also an assignee filter. So you can skip the weekends and save it. So once the task has been created, you can see the email will go immediately, the intake form will go immediately. After the form will get submitted, after 1 day, the agent will get yeah, so this is the intake form. This is how you can create an intake form. Let me go to the edit. If you select an intake form, you have to select the form from here, select the custom form. I have selected the renewal questionnaire, how you will send it to the contact. You can send it through email, or you can send it via text. And the subject line will be intake form notification. You can trigger it immediately with any source filter you want to add, category filter, carrier filter. It's up to your agency's requirement. And you can skip the weekend if you don't want to send the intake form in the weekends. You can just skip it and update it. This is how you can add the intake form in the automation. And after that 1 day, you can assign a task to the agent of the deal card to call the contact and have the informations regarding the coverages and all. So
Perfect.
once you'll go here, so
We have a
let me
couple of
just,
questions too, Shilpa.
yeah, let me just show you by moving the card to the second stage. And again, if you move back it to the first stage, so here you can see the task is also there, and the agent will get assigned, and the agent will get assigned after 1 day, and the agent will also get a notification regarding a task has been assigned to him. So for here, you can see the task is still not started. So let me have the questions, Paula.
Yes, perfect. So the question is, if you send the form through automation and then the customer completes the form, so the completed answers will come back into that same form in that deal card and you'll be able to preview it. So it'll
Yes.
automatically connect. So if you send it through the deal card, whether you send it via an automation or a
Email.
link, it'll come back and it'll be where Shilpa. So you want to open up that card and show them again where that will be. Do you have a sample
Yeah, it
one
will
that
be,
completed?
as of now, no completed information is there. So if you preview it, if the form is submitted, the informations will be filled.
Yep. And so the information that
And
comes back in the form stays in the form, just so everybody knows that.
yes,
None of these
yes.
fields go anywhere or populate anywhere else. The information stays in the form. So if
Yeah.
somebody partially completed a form, it
Mhm.
would be here and they would be able to edit it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if anyone has partially completed the form, they can simply save the form and later they can open it and then complete the form and submit it.
Yep. So this example is in a renewal pipeline. So if you have a renewal pipeline set up, there is automation that you can put or set up. Your admin can do that. So whether you want, when that renewal deal card populates, maybe you want to send that email the next day or the same day. You could also put it in if you use a template, you could put the form tag in the template. And then anything that goes out of the pipeline card would come back into the pipeline card.
Yes. Do we have more questions, Paula?
That is it. See, I think we have one more question. So does the system automatically create a renewal pipeline card? So that would have to be set up by your admin in the
Yeah,
event that you want to create a renewal
you can
pipeline. Yeah.
you can set up it through the pipeline settings. You can go here. Under the settings, we have a renewal pipeline. You can set up as by default, by insurance type, by category. You have to enable this and then you can select the pipeline and the stage. You want to create the card in which stage you can enable it. And then for how many days before the expiration you want the deal card to be created, the renewal card, you can set it up. And once all the setup is done, you can select the agent as none of them will be the agent or agent of the policy or anyone from the list of agents you can select.
And some
And
agency
then you
management
can,
systems will have some different options. We're not connected with an agency management system. So I
yeah,
think one thing that's very important is before, obviously, you have to set up the renewal pipeline first and all of the
yes,
automation that goes with it. So when those cards populate in, if you wanted to use the renewal questionnaire. So this needs to be set up by your admin.
yes. So after you've done the setup, the admin will save it and based on the settings, if any renewal is coming under the coming days, it will create a deal card under the renewal pipeline. So Paula, can we proceed?
Yes, there's no further questions at this time.
Yeah. So let me show one more thing. It's the last segment we have. So if you go to the pipeline settings, we have one more set default pipeline and a stage for web forms. If you set a deal, the pipeline is set up as deal board and the default stage is lead in, save it. Now let's go to the settings. Under the appearance, we have a website widget. Under this website widget, we have a public code sheet form. So under the code sheet, you can select the particular codes and generate the link, or you can select your custom form from here. Let me just generate the link with home and auto form. And here you can copy the code and again you can paste it in your website to generate the form into your website. Once you will copy it, I'll just show you how the form will look.
This form has a lot more fields because it's what we call a public intake form.
Yes. So whatever codes you will select, it will get added in the form. So for now, I have selected auto and home, so you will get only the auto and home informations. And once you update, fill the form,
It has a lot of the rating factors in this form. So it's a little bit lengthier, whereas if you create a custom form and you keep it basic, you can do that as well.
Yeah. Yes. So once you will done, you can add all the informations related to your codes. And then if you submit, and a lead will be generated in your selected pipeline. So let me go to the pipeline. So here you can see a deal card has got created with the homeowner's insurance. If you click into it, go inside, through the automation, the checklist has imported here. And if you scroll down under the intake form, you can preview the responses which has been filled. So this is how you can see the responses. And you can also add the code to your website, and through the website also you can get the deals into InsuredMine. And this is how you can generate like the form will act like a code form. Paula, any other questions?
No, I'm just typing an answer to a question about the form going out of a deal card. So if it's sent out of a deal card, you don't need to confirm the client information because it'll have that client information in there. The basic name and phone.
Yeah. So based on this, after form submission with all the responses, the agent will get notified the success message. After the form submission, you will get the success message. If you have any redirect URL, the form will redirect you to the set URL, and the contact will also get a response as well as an acknowledgement template, which I have set up.
So there's a couple of kind of pieces to the puzzle, right? So if you create a form, as we talked about in the beginning, it has automation, form automation to create a contact and a deal card. That is a little bit different than sending, like in the renewal process where you're sending a renewal questionnaire to an existing customer. So there is form automation where you can create create a deal card, because what happens is when you create a deal card, it creates the contact and it creates the account.
Yes. So while you are creating a deal card, and based on the round robin, as I have selected the deal card in the shared board and I haven't selected any of the agent. So the round robin has set as the first agent will be Jitendra and then it's Shilpa. So once you go inside the deal card, you can see one response has been submitted and the agent is based on the round robin. So it will be the alternate, the agents get assigned for the alternate cards. Like first it will go to the Jitendra and then to me, then again to Jitendra and then to me. And based on this, if it has any task automation in the pipeline, so the agent will get assigned a task to contact the prospect within 24 hours to review coverage needs and provide a quote. Once you scroll down here, you can see the intake form. And if you click here, you can see the response. So this is the response added for from the contact to create a deal card. So Bola, as I conclude my part of today's session, I would like to leave you with one key thought, that a form shouldn't just collect information, it should trigger actions. With the right automation, every form submission can instantly create contact, assign agent, generate pipeline cards, and start follow-up activities, helping your team respond faster and work smarter. Thank you for your time, and I hope today's session gave you a new ideas for turning forms into a powerful quoting and automation tools within InsuredMine. So Paula, back to you.
All right, perfect. So we've got a couple of questions. When we talked about, let's just see, we talked about web lead forms, so you can park those out on your website. We talked about tasks, how a form can create a task as well, right, Shilpa?
Yes.
And then I think if you can go back to the forms module on the left-hand side, then we're looking at our forms list, right? But can we also look at the templates tab at the top left? Because there are some templates that are here. Like if you have integration like with QuoteRush or PL Rater or Turbo Rater, there are some of those options here as well. And most of the customers will also have some of these in their portal, right? So if you're an admin, you may see all of these. If you're an agent, you may or may not see some of them. And then if you can go back to the forms list on the top left, and then we already talked about my forms and agent forms, and we talked about how you can share them with others, right? We talked about how you can send them. We also have a little send option here as well. And then you can send them via email or text. And then form responses, and if you see a pipeline card. So why don't you talk a little bit about that area before we wrap up today, Shilpa?
Yeah. So once a form is submitted, you will get a form response here. To view the form response, you can click into the view response. Here you can see there are 11 responses. Once you click into it, you can check all the responses, and if you click in any of the form view, it will open up the form. You can check the response. If you want to download it into a PDF format, you can download it in the PDF file. And if you want to download this form response list into a CSV file, you can download it. You can filter out with the date range for, let's suppose for 30 days, last 30 days, how many responses are there. You can check it here. And if the pipeline card is also enabled, so you can check under the pipeline cards, you have the view option, and there are also 11 deal cards created, and these are the deal titles. And if you click into this, it will redirect you to the deals detail page, and here you can check all the information.
It's like magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so Maria asked a question that I know that others probably have the same question because I brought up QuoteRush, PL Rater, and those types of things. So those are integrations that we have. So Shilpa, I think just before we wrap up, if you want to click on the settings option in the integrations page, I'll just kind of bring that up. And so on this integrations page, if you are a client of QuoteRush, Turbo Rater, or you have PL Rater, then there is the ability to connect those so the systems can talk to one another. If you have any questions, you can click the help key on the right-hand side. It'll kind of guide you through that. And then if you had any questions, you could start a live chat. So if you want to point out our live chat on the bottom right, where our support team can help you as well as connecting with our customer success team in here as well. So thank you for that, Shilpa. And then we have another question. You know how in the form you brought in the logo? Is there the ability to bring in like the agent's photo? Because it's an image, right?
Yeah, the image format should be of JPG or PNG. Then only
JPEG
you
or
can
PNG.
add the, then only you can add the image of the agent. It's the same way. You just have to go to the, let me open the same form which I created. So if you go to the layout, just add the content. And if you want to add any image, you can simply click here and the image will be here.
Ah, it's a beautiful image. Elsa, you look just like a flower. Yeah,
So
because
if you
that makes it
save
a
it,
little
or
bit, yeah.
you can just adjust the size of the image.
Perfect, right? Because you
And
don't want
save
it too
it.
big.
So
Yeah.
you can check it. The image will be in your form.
Nice.
So then after you have to update it so that
Oh,
it gets
always
saved
remember
into your
that.
form.
Yes. Because what'll
Before
happen is they'll
you
come to support and say, I didn't get saved because you forgot to update it.
update, yes.
Update, update, save, save, save.
Yeah. So we
Awesome.
have one more option here as the analytics. Once you click here, you can check all the like the selected number of forms, the best forms like best of 10, what are the responses, the highest form responses to the lowest one. You can
Oh,
check with the date range filter. And over here, you can have the graphical view. And once you will scroll down, you will have a table view. And if you click into the response, it will again show you the response. You can download it in a CSV file too.
oh, that's great because if you have like 7 forms and like 2 are not really performing well, you may want to either revise them or not use them anymore. So this analytic piece is very beneficial. Awesome. Thanks, Shilpa, for sharing that. Okay.
Thank you, Paula.
The only other question we have is yes, this is being recorded. And it'll be available usually in 5 to 7 business days. We usually email our attendees, but it's also available on insuredmine.com/webinar. There you'll be able to see this year's webinars or a link to last year's webinars. We have a host of them on multiple topics and subjects. So I recommend that you check that out as well. So Shilpa, if you want to stop sharing, I'll go ahead and share my screen as we wrap up today's session.
Sure, Paula. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome job. Okay, gonna go
Thank
back to
you.
my fancy presentation. If I can find it. Okay, can you see my screen? I'm not sure you can see my screen. Let me share. Let me present. Can you see my screen, Shilpa?
Not yet, Paula. I can see
Okay.
you.
That's all right because I'm technically challenged. I get it sometimes. Aren't we always all technically challenged sometimes? It's just the nature of the business. Okay.
Yes, it's
So
loading, Paula.
perfect.
Yeah, now we can see it.
Awesome. All right. So I think we answered all of the questions. Let me just check one more time. And so I think everyone should be able to see because a lot of people told me they couldn't. So thank you for keeping an eye on me. I appreciate that. And then I'm going to close that chat. And then, as always in our sessions, I want to make sure that everyone is aware of our InsuredMine Academy. So if you want to take a picture of this and scan it, it'll take you to our InsuredMine Academy where we have a full agent course as well as an admin level course. They take about 40 to 60 minutes to complete. You don't have to complete it all at once. You can come back to it. Our agency management system guides are there as well. So there's a whole section on forms. So take a minute and if you haven't taken one of our classes in a while, then you'll want to do that. And then having said that, upcoming webinars are always posted as a pop-up banner in your portal. You'll see it, so don't brightly close everything because usually we have a message and we want to tell you about something. But they're also available on insuredmine.com/webinar. for upcoming webinars. So I think our next one will probably be another one up on updates to the system. But you can always check the what's new button at the top of your InsuredMine portal for anything that's newly posted. We always release a lot of new features and functionalities or enhancements or some visual changes. So those are always there as well. So having said that, I think that wraps us up today. So Shilpa, thanks for an awesome job. Forms are a great tool, and we thank you for your expertise. Have an awesome
Thank
day,
you,
everyone.
Paula.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.